All right, it is 4:40 in the morning, and we are at McCacken. And this is Magnum's display here. We're going to take a walk through and just show you some little snippets. As you can see in the background, the covers are still on cars. Those are for the unveilings later on this morning, some of which I'm going to be doing. But again, Magnum's always got great high quality stuff. This is part of it here. Digging this 70 Hemi RT. Gorgeous, gorgeous car. Another 70 Challenger. And of course, under here, which we'll see later on today, is the legendary Hurricane. Superbird. We saw the flood in Fort Myers. This car was on display here in its unfortunately damaged state, and Mark has worked to get that thing done. And finally, this Dodge Demon here. And Magnum has got a primary location coming in through the front door. And several of these cars have already gotten picks. This one's got the Mr. Norm pick. And this is a Demon GSS. Oh, that's pretty cool. So a 6-pack under the hood. And finally, another Hemi 68 RT in black. If I remember right, this is a car that showed up in the barn finds. Yes, it is. There's a picture of it in the barn finds back in 2019. And again, 68 Hemi RT in black. So Magnum Restorations, Marco Secula. One of 104 speeds built back in 1968. BB1 black. Metallic red bucket seats. Wow. So Stefano and the crew at Nickey brought some cool stuff in. How about this? Got some great paint on the Survivor car. There's the Yanko tag on the fender. And we have got a big black red motor on a tunnel ram underneath the hood. This was a Jack Douglas car. Very interesting. It was originally Daytona yellow. It's got a 9561 iron block option at 9737 Copo conversion here. Try to move this over just a hair. Take a look at what it says. And you don't know, Jack Douglas, of course, was a dealership that was able to get the same parts Yanko did, and actually Yanko supplied them with stripes and some other things on occasion. But, a very cool car. Very, very cool car. And here's a late model. That carbon fiber Copo scoop on it. And finally, here's a Nickey gasser with the subframe kit that Nickey offered. So we've got official unveilings here. It's called the PM Collection. California car cover supply covers. Here's a few of the panels that will go up earlier in the morning before the show opens. Again, we are at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So. And we'll finish this little snippet up and take a look at the two Joe Dirt Daytonas. 5150 guys brought these. And I think one of them is the original. One is patinaed. Let's see. One's a Superbird. It says movie car though. So. And this is the What If Joe Dirt Daytona. So again, what if Joe Dirt had 2 wing cars? Pretty cool. On Moparin in the free world. got a QR code to talk about how they actually bought the Joe Dirt Daytona. I do give them credit, man. Superbird is pretty creative. Two-lane blacktop gasser in the background there. Troy Angenney stuff. Again, it doesn't have an official debut, but pretty nice 72 covered headlights, 440 rally car. Pretty cool, man. I don't see too many of them around. I'm just married in my first car, 1972 Rally Charger, purchased in 1977. Wow, very nice. Just take a look at this thing. That white gut, white top, copper paint. Mike and Carol Denton are the owners, and I'm assuming based on that picture are still the owners from back in that time period. Hemi Cuda. As you can tell, it's a rubber bumper, rubber bumper, red shaker car. If you bought red, you could get the shaker in body color. Otherwise, it was black or argent. Good paperwork on it. Another group of unveilings, not sure what all these are. Looking at the wheel, it's a GM Rally wheel there. 66 Le Mans convertible with one owner. Rotisserie restorations by Quality Muscle Car. Patty and Mike Mueller. Again, you can see there's quite a few cars here undercover this morning. We'll try to shoot some of these tonight, but I wanted to get in here and be able to kind of walk around in the quiet a little bit. Once the show opens up, it is a total madhouse, and I'm going to be doing some of these unveilings. It's a 70 Plymouth Roadrunner, again stuffed by Apex. It's Andrew White. There's a 71 Hemi Cuda. Phil Mitchell, 4-speed car. White billboard, 4-speed built Hamtramck. So we'll take a look at that one later. So Superbirds are your thing. This is the only Superbird that was ever registered by Richard Petty as a street car from 1982 to 2013. He kept it in the museum and has been on multiple TV shows and personally supervised by Richard Petty. So again, pretty cool car. Richard Petty stand up inside. Petty seat backs on it. And again, the only Superbird that Richard Petty ever registered for the street. And not a real high down. It is a console bucket car, but no tick-tock-tack. And it is an automatic. But you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Also here at Mecum. We are checking out the original Mod Squad car. If you watched my my videos from Carlisle, this was a car that was on display at Carlisle. I did a short on it. But again, the nice thing about this car is the provenance is excellent. In fact, it's a movie car, documented, having been sold in California and used in an episode of the original Mod Squad TV show. But it is a 6-pack, white gut, white top, limelight green Challenger. And of course, a special twister, Mach 1. These were pretty famous cars offered by a dealership in the Midwest. I've done a few magazine features on them over the years. This one's got a Marty report in the window. Full documentation in the on what was the optional equipment on it. Cobra Jet, Mach 1, 1970. Under this cover here is actually one of the coolest cars that's here this weekend, and we're going to do the overview of that. I will tell you what's interesting about it. It is a 56 Nomad that was built as a show car for Chevrolet. It was actually shown at New York, Detroit, Chicago, and Los Angeles But interestingly enough, it was delivered to Nally Chevrolet with the 2 Black Widow cars and the 2 convertible Smoky unit ran at the beach. And it also has the 2nd fuel injection unit Chevrolet ever built. So on the show car deal, it actually was displayed, you know, showing this fuel injection unit on it. And it's got a very early Corvette 283 motor in it too, with all the high test stuff. And the owner told me yesterday, you know, he's done great research, went to the GM archives and got all kinds of paperwork on it. But it is a really, really cool car. It's a Nomad. It looks kind of like a stock vehicle, but the story is awesome. And finally, in the Mecum display here, got a champagne mist looking 68 GTO, one of 22 Ram Air 2 convertibles with automatic. It's a GTOAA Concours winner. And finally, the Essex Wire Cobra, which is, of course, one of the more famous of the competition vehicles back in the day, and considered to be one of the winningest Cobras. And it's saying arguably one of the winningest Cobras of all time. But again, as a race car, this one was all business. So that's our first look at McCacken here this morning, and we will be back. This is Stunker.